Why are humans still afraid of the dark? Even right now, you're sitting somewhere completely safe. Maybe your room, maybe your office. Door closed. No movement. No sound that should matter. Logically speaking, nothing around you is dangerous. But your body still reacts slightly. That small tension in your chest. That moment when you pause before turning off the lights. Or when you feel uncomfortable walking through a dark hallway alone. And the strange part is, you don't actually decide to feel this. It just happens. Almost automatically. And here's what most people never realize. You are not afraid of darkness itself. You are afraid of what your brain might assume is inside it. And that reaction is not random. It is not learned from movies. It is not imagination. It is a survival system that has been running for hundreds of thousands of years, even before modern humans existed. Glow showing Europe Africa Part 1. Darkness was never just absence of light. Let's slow down and think about this properly. What does darkness actually mean in a natural environment? Not metaphorically, but physically. For most of human history, darkness was not something you experience. It was something you endure. Because once the sun disappeared, the entire structure of perception collapsed. There was no artificial lighting, no indoor lighting systems, no constant visual reference points like we have today. Even familiar environments became unstable. A forest path you walked during the day could feel completely unfamiliar at night. Distances change. Shapes change. Your sense of direction becomes unreliable. And this matters more than people think, because humans are visual-dependent animals. We rely heavily on sight to understand. Distance movement 3 at location group positioning. So when sight disappears, the brain loses its main control system. And in evolution, loss of control is one of the most dangerous states a human can experience, because it means you are no longer predicting your environment accurately. And if you can't predict it, you can't survive it safely. Brain Part 2. Your brain does not receive darkness. IT interprets it. Here's something very important. Your brain does not experience reality directly. It interprets signals. It builds a model of the world. And when information is missing, it doesn't wait. It fills the gap. This is where darkness becomes interesting, because darkness is not nothing. It is incomplete information. And incomplete information forces prediction. So your brain starts running simulations. Not consciously, but automatically. A soft sound becomes movement. A slight shadow becomes structure. Even silence becomes meaningful silence. This is called predictive processing. And the goal is simple. Reduce uncertainty as quickly as possible. Because uncertainty in ancient environments was dangerous. Not theoretically dangerous. Physically dangerous. So the brain developed a bias. It is better to assume something is there than to assume nothing and be wrong, because being wrong in the past had consequences, sometimes fatal ones. Gear Part 3. Why evolution built this overreacting system. Early humans did not survive because they were strong. They survived because they were sensitive. Sensitivity to movement. Sensitivity to sound. Sensitivity to environmental change, especially at night, because night removed visibility, but did not remove danger. In fact, night increased unpredictability. Predators could move silently. Distance estimation became unreliable. Group members could be separated easily. So natural selection favored brains that reacted quickly to ambiguity, treated uncertainty as potential threat, activated alertness in low visibility conditions, even if most of the time nothing was actually there. Because evolution does not optimize for comfort. It optimizes for survival probability. And survival systems often come with side effects. Fear of darkness is one of them. New Moon Part 4. Why darkness feels active instead of empty. Most people describe darkness as empty, but your nervous system doesn't treat it that way. It treats darkness as active uncertainty. That means your body shifts slightly. Your attention narrows. Your hearing becomes more sensitive. Your reaction time becomes faster. Even your breathing can change subtly. This is not fear in the emotional sense. It is preparation mode. Your brain is basically saying, I don't know what's happening, so I'll stay ready. And this state can last even if nothing changes, because it doesn't depend on actual danger. It depends on perceived information loss. DNA Part 5. The ancient night environment that shaped this system. For hundreds of thousands of years, night was not passive. It was an active risk environment. This is important to understand, because in ancestral environments, predators were more active at night. Humans were harder to coordinate in darkness. Vision-based defense systems stopped working. Accidental injury risk increased. Separation from group became more likely. Even something simple like walking alone at night in a forest was a real survival risk scenario. So over time, the brain learned a very simple pattern. When visibility drops, assume higher risk level. And once this pattern became stable, it no longer needed learning. It became instinctive. Broken Heart Part 7. Why this is not only about darkness. This mechanism is not limited to fear of the dark. Darkness is just one visible example of a deeper system. The real system is this. The brain reacts strongly to uncertainty, because uncertainty was historically linked to survival risk. That is why modern humans often experience anxiety without clear reason, tension in quiet environments, overthinking in low-stimulation situations, discomfort when information is incomplete. These are not modern problems. They are ancient survival systems running in modern conditions. Globe with Meridians Part 8. The core insight about human behavior. If you step back far enough, you start to see a pattern. Many human reactions are not responses to the present. They are responses to environments that no longer exist. The brain is not designed for peace. It is designed for survival efficiency. And survival efficiency requires caution bias, even when that caution is no longer needed. So fear of the dark is not a flaw. It is evidence. Evidence that your brain is still doing its job, just in a world that has changed faster than it can adapt. Direct hit. Final part. Closing reflection. So when we ask again, why are humans afraid of the dark? The answer is not simple psychology. It is not imagination. It is not weakness. It is evolutionary memory, a survival system that learned one rule. If you cannot see clearly, assume you're not fully safe. Because in the environment your brain was built for, that assumption kept people alive. And even now, in a world of light switches and locked doors, your nervous system has never fully forgotten that rule. Bell outro. If this changed how you see something as simple as fear, then you're starting to understand something deeper about human behavior. Most of what we feel every day is not new. It is inherited. And if you want to continue exploring these hidden survival systems inside the human mind, subscribe to Survival Archive. And I want to leave you with one question. Do you think your fears are truly yours, or are they echoes from a world that no longer exists? I read every comment, and I reply to the ones that make me think.